Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going over the Bloodstained Chevalier set and comparing it to the Gladiator's finale. And we're gonna see, I guess, like which one's stronger, like better, for which scenarios and for what characters, right? I think with the Bloodstained Chevalier set is it's really good for physical damage, characters that you're gonna have out on the field, but only if you're gonna use charged attacks, okay? Um, if you're not gonna use charged attacks, then it's not really like super worth it. Um, Especially compared to the Gladiator set, okay? Like I'll go over all the math later, but up front I'm just gonna say, right, if you're just gonna do normal attacks like Razor, right, like go like the Gladiator set is objectively better. Okay. If you're gonna use charge attacks all the time, I would say the Bloodstain set is probably better, especially the four-piece set effect, not using stamina at all, and the 50% increase to damage on your charge attacks. Like that's a lot of damage, you know. On Gene, that's like I'm hitting over like 10k. All right. With the full plus 20 set. Okay. Aside from that, I think that um, you know, if you want to kind of like use both, I guess it would be okay to go two and two. But in my opinion, like the four-piece effect for either set is just like too good. So it doesn't make sense to just go two and two. The most sense it makes is to go either with the four-piece Bloodstained or to go with the four-piece Gladiators, right? And one thing to keep in mind is the Bloodstain is really only good for people who are going to just be using charge attacks, right? And be doing physical damage. That's a big key, right? Like on Dillik, it's probably worthless. On Kaching, it's unless you're going for the physical damage build, it's gonna be worthless. Um, on any caster, it's gonna be worthless, right? Whereas the Gladiator set, as long as you do normal attacks, it's gonna have value. So the Gladiator set works pretty much on everyone. The Bloodstained set is very specific. Um, Now that I've said that, I think that if we compare the damage numbers, and this is just like the normal attack, right? Because people are like, oh, which one's gonna be like stronger? Um, I did all the math comparing the value of the 18% modifier and 35% normal attack modifier and the bloodstained 25% physical damage modifier, right? And I compared it, and then I get basically, in terms of damage, okay, the Gladiator is going to have the four-piece Gladiator set is going to have a 16% or almost 16 to 17% advantage over using the Bloodstained set on normal attacks. Okay, so that is pretty significant. All right, but then at the same time, you're not going to be getting any buffs to your charge attacks, so you can never use charged attacks because it would just be a waste, right? But I mean, if you're going to be playing someone who doesn't use charge attacks ever, like Razor, right, or you just don't like using charge attacks, like on Gene or something, like, the Gladiator set is fantastic for sure, right? And that 18% damage boost is no joke, right? That's going to boost your elemental skill, it's going to boost your ultimate as well, okay? I think in terms of farming a good set, like you can start getting the Gladiator set earlier than the Bloodstained set, but even if you're gonna start getting the Gladiator set earlier, I think it's much easier to farm the Bloodstained set because, um, you know, once you hit AR 45 especially, you're gonna get a gold artifact or 5-star artifact every time you do the dungeon versus, if you're farming the world bosses, except for Spiral Abyss and the weekly bosses, the only source you have is the world bosses. Each world boss takes 40 resin. Okay, and it's not guaranteed to drop a gold. And furthermore, like, it could be either gladiators or it could be Bard's Feather, So I think overall it's probably harder to get a gladiator set than it is to get a bloodstained set, right? If we look at like my bloodstained pieces, like they're definitely pretty decent, you know, in comparison to in comparison to because like here, like I was doing using this for the sake of damage numbers, but here, like this is not too bad. I don't even like this is like this defense person. This is like the only gold artifact I've gotten for gladiators for goblet. Okay, that yeah, this crit rate, that's nice. Like the energy recharge attack percent, like that's nice too. Here, I mean, I just use this because I have really trash goblets, I guess. But anyways, and then here, right, crit damage. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Like this one, 26% crit damage. Like that's really nice. This one, attack, crit damage, crit rate, also very nice. So I think it is a lot easier to get one of these bloodstained sets than it is to get the gladiator set. And the gladiator set, like it's just more like of a time thing because it's like once spiral base resets, like we're gonna farm spiral base for artifacts, right? And the weekly world bosses. I wouldn't go on the world bosses just to try and get a gladiator set because that's like you're really gonna hurt your resin economy. Okay. So yeah. And I know I said like the 2 and 2 is like not so good just because the 4-piece set effects are so nice for either set. But I did do kind of like a comparison, right, of like, okay, like how worth it would it be to get the 2 and 2 in comparison to in comparison to the full 4-piece set, right? And honestly, the difference between a 4-piece bloodstain and the 2 and 2 for me was like pretty um it was pretty negligible, right? At least for me because like here I am gonna use the 2 and 2. My attack's gonna be 2258. When I use the 4-piece bloodstain set with 2114 attack, right? I hit for um 1122. Yeah, I hit for 1122. Okay, and like this, you know, it's not crit 1171. Okay, so 1122 divided by 1171, you know, I mean, it's 50 damage, but I guess it is bigger than it looks, right? It's 4%, or well, yeah, about 4%, 4.2%. But I mean, like, you can easily make that up in like substats or whatever, right? So, 4% isn't huge, especially considering the set effects that you get from the bloodstain by having 4 pieces. The only argument that I would have for using the 2 and 2 and that you want that attack percent bonus is her elemental skill, right? Her elemental skill is definitely going to be dealing more damage by having that extra, you know, like 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 for here it would be, you know, 2258 minus 2114, a 144 attack boost, okay? So you will have more damage on your elemental skill and your elemental burst as well, right? And that also means that you'll heal more by having um more attack, right? Because her heals scale from her attack. So, that's definitely something to consider as well. But I mean, you know, like the damage boost that she gets from having like the charged attack, like do 50% more damage and then not costing any stamina. I think that's like kind of busted because it's like you can get all them like pretty weak, and then you might be like almost dead, and it's like, all right, time to pull out Jean. You pull out Jean, you heal. This is at least how I play her. You heal, and then you kind of just finish them off, and then for me, I just like charge attack over and over again, and then once they're all dead or whatever, I just pull out whoever else that I want to use. So for me, like I like using the bloodstained set on Jean, because I do like throwing in some charge attacks. I like to like I'll even just like charge attack, like this will thrust them up, and then I'll suck them in and like that, right? So like a good combo would be like throw Klee mines, right? Come up, attack them, charge attack, suck all the mines in, throw them, and then they'll probably be like almost dead. So yeah, I think that because anyways, like I feel like Jean's anyways isn't like great for killing bosses. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel at least. Like she's not like I would much rather use if I'm fighting bosses, I'd rather use someone like Kaching, right? I'd rather use someone like Klee. I'd rather use somebody like Diluc. I wouldn't really want to use Jean, but Jean is really good for taking out like a ton of mobs. So and that's the thing, like you don't want just like even though I do have a lot of characters that do the same thing, like you don't want to just do like every character just does the same thing. Like every character is like there to take out bosses. You know what I mean? Like I think you should have some characters good for taking out mobs and exploring, and some characters for taking out bosses. Because even in the late game, right? Like I still spend time hunting these mobs, right? Gathering resources, mining, whatever, and when I usually do that, like I have Gene out, right? So, um, I think it's all situational. If we're talking about just the attacks like this, right? Like we can say the normal attacks, right? We can objectively say the Gladiator is gonna be better, but if you're gonna throw it, throw some other things in, right? Like some charge attacks, okay, I mean they died really fast, but then we're gonna go with the Bloodstained set, okay? And I really don't think that there's enough value to the 2 and 2 to validate this, just because the 4 piece of set effect for either of them is just really good. So yeah, so that's the end of the video, and I hope that it helped. And yeah, so um I guess I'll just plug myself here. I think I'm making like videos like probably like every day or every other day, just like things that I think might be helpful for people, things that I wish I knew, because this is the stuff that I make videos on is stuff that I can't find information on, right? Especially like this like Bloodstained versus Gladiator set, which is going to be better, with the numbers breakdown, like nobody has that. So I went ahead and did it. And so if this kind of stuff is helpful for you, go ahead and like subscribe, and yeah, you expect to see more videos from me, because I do have some more ideas, right? There are a lot of things, especially like elemental damage bonus and stuff like that. I do plan to put out a video like that. So yeah, if this was helpful, I'm I'm glad it was, and yeah, that's it. All right, thank you.